Hi there, I'm Bill, and welcome to my very first unboxing video. It'll be an amateurish attempt to try and spread the good word as far as the new game that's come out, Great War Commander. My copy arrived earlier today, and I thought I'd take the opportunity to let everybody know what they can expect. So, onward to the unboxing. So when the game arrives, it did arrive not in shrink. That's not a problem, of course, but I don't want anybody to panic. We got the front and the back. When we look inside, you have to forgive me, I'm doing this by hand. Now, I took the liberty of shuffling through the cards already. The cards will be shrink, as you can see. I've already taken the American deck and unshuffle them to go through, and I'll be talking more about the cards later, but you got the three decks. You've got the American deck. The easiest way to tell what they are is from the back side. German deck, I'm sorry, my apologies, French deck, and the German deck. All right. Next thing up is the rule book, 32 pages. For anybody who is familiar with Combat Commander, this will seem just like another iteration of it, and that's all good. So you'll be very, very at home with this. You've got the playbook, goes over various things as far as the scenario play as they're concerned. There's only 8 pages there. Now, here's where things get a little different, and I can see why I understand where they came from with this, but I think I like it. We've got the German Order of Battle, and what they've done is they have put them on player aids. So we've got the German Order of Battle, terrain, fortifications, and then we do French Order of Battle, American Order of Battle. So those are the entirety of your player aids right there. And then what they've done is, instead of basically they've more or less copied Combat Commander again, and opted for more detail with the terrain chart by having it be a fanfold spread outwards instead of just one page. Nice little bonus here is the scenarios. There are a total of 16 scenarios. Again, for those of you familiar with Combat Commander, the original game came with 12, so there's a little more in the box here. Now to the pieces. There's 4 sheets of pieces here. Rounded corners, so for those of you who like to edge your corners, you won't have to worry about it here. Now I'm just going to take a quick close-up on these so you can see what's going on here. Now you'll notice that some of the troops have a flag in the upper right-hand corner. That means that they're only used in 1914. I'm presuming that was done to make things easy once you've punched out all of your counters. And of course, we've got the tanks, and then various weapons, and they've also added counters, not unlike, I'm sure there's, having not really explored it very much, I'm sure they'll be very similar to the veterans. And we've got the Americans, front and back, the Germans, and then some more German troops. We've got some aircraft. We've got wire, shell holes, the objective chits. And then last but not least, we've got the maps. And I won't go into any great detail, but it's, as already been discussed in a lot of scenarios, these are bigger maps than what is in Combat Commander. There's more hexes involved. They are paper. That shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody. So whatever you do to make it work. If you like, I use plexiglass. I even got a nice setup that I bought from a friend of mine from Canada. It's like a self-contained thing where basically you lift it up and slide it in, and it's waterproof and scratch proof. One small note for those of you who remember the original edition of Combat Commander, you'll notice I'm focusing in on this. You got player map 1, very bright and clear. And on the flip side, player map 2, so they obviously learned from GMT's mistake. So 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all front and back as they should be. And there's a total of 12 maps. So I wanted to move over to the cards just to give a little more explanation on what we've got here. So again, I took out the American deck so I could just sort of shuffle through it. And I've compared it to my Combat Commander deck. So if you look real close, obviously they're the same size. And I'm not going to try and do this one-handed holding a camera, but these are the sleeves that I use for Combat Commander. They are an exact fit. So if you like the sleeve and you have sleeves for Combat Commander, they are completely interchangeable with Great War Commander. Setup of the card is exactly as you would expect. Get your orders, actions, events, random hexes, random die rolls, and the time markers. So this will all be very familiar and comfortable. Now, one thing that they've done with the cards is they've added a strategy deck. And it's in the rules, but to summarize, basically what you do is at the start of every turn, you draw one card from your strategy deck. And with that card, you get a one-time usage with either the event or you get to modify a die roll. As you can see, there's different events. Once you play an event, and if I did a very, very brief check of the rules on this. Once you play an event, you are not able to replenish your card unless specifically directed to do so or at the start of the next turn. So that's your strategy deck. There's a total of 9 cards. I presume that each deck is going to be slightly different because obviously, for example, under Doughboy Surge, that's not something that the French are going to have, unless they just call it something else. Now we move on to, we have more like guidance cards, I guess. Again, I didn't really dive through them, but we've got additional cards: air assault type, artillery type, time marker procedures, support table procedures. The support table is actually on a card, and then each nation has their own specific initiative. So obviously that was Americans and Germans. And then, again, last but not least, the very familiar actions, orders, and they put the point values on a card. So obviously what they've done here with the cards, they've added a nice little wrinkle with the strategies, and then they've got reference cards for various other parts of the game. My first impression is that I like the setup. It's very comfortable. It shouldn't take any time at all for someone who's in Combat Commander to just jump right into the swing of this. I think they've done a nice job. The card quality is exactly the same as GMT, so if you feel like you did not need to sleeve your cards for Combat Commander, you probably will not need to sleeve your cards here. I prefer to sleeve them because obviously if they get nicked, it's pretty dependent on the card deck being the engine of the game. So it's my personal preference, but your mileage may vary. Other than that, I'm looking forward to having this hit the table and see how many friends of mine I can convince to play this game, and looking forward to the excitement and the adventure. So hope everybody enjoys the video and looks forward to getting their copy soon. Take care.